Alright guys, we're back for another update on the RL Osborn General build. And we were just trying to figure out what the last update we did was on, or what we showed you guys last. I can't really remember, do you? I think we showed you guys the paint job, and that might have been it. And did we show them? I don't know, but RL started putting the decals on and starting to assemble the bike, so we wanted to show you guys the latest for what's going on with the build.
Yeah, I would have been better off not going to Ohio, because now I talk to all these guys that build custom bikes, or they, ground up detailed bikes, and I picked up a lot of their habits of like trying to get a cup in without screwing up the paint job, or without screwing up the cup, making sure the paint doesn't come off. I got a real good idea of what these guys are going through to build those bikes that are at the bike shows. I got a lot of respect for them. Not easy. We're going to try to get the cups in, and this is critical, because if the cups are too tight, it could crack the paint, or it could crack or chip the nickel plating that's under the paint, and that would be a nightmare. So I've grinded everything down carefully to make sure, I'm hoping it slides in easy. That would be a gift. Yeah. And that's what we're going to attempt today. Cool. Live.
All right, let's start doing it then. We were talking about too, the paint job looked really good. And then once we started putting the decals on, it was like it made the paint kind of pop even more. Or at least that's what I felt like.
These decals are crazy. Okay, so BSD wheels, rims.
You're blocking the bike.
BSD rims, BSD free coaster on the wrong side.
What do you mean on the wrong side?
I put it on the wrong side. That was a test, and you failed. I need your help. Hold that frame.
You're blocking everything with your big fat butt.
Okay, well, you do want me to put this together, right?
Yeah, well, we can do it on that side so they can see.
Sometimes I have to be on both sides.
No, wrong.
Now, this is another pre-run. Just going to give you guys an idea, because we're doing some stuff with the gyro, or I'm sorry, the rotor.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's still drying.
And this is a polished profile 24 tooth BSD cranks, 165s. This should be good gearing for Eric. He's just gonna be taking it easy, cruising. We got the spacers in here.
Yummy.
Can you hold the bike so I can tap this in?
Tappy.
Yet, I'm trying to figure out how to do it so that it looks proper. Well, that ain't gonna do any good. I'm gonna like this. Yeah.
There you go. And on goes the crank.
This size of that bolt. Fine thread, which is nice. Gives you more torque than a bigger thread. Just pulls it a little at a time. It's a much smoother. It just threads in smoother, I think, my personal opinion. Man, I don't know what you guys think, but it looks so good without a rotor on here because the bars are down.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of looks like a race bike, but I just love that drop stem. So I'm not going to put these on, but these are Oakley, I guess they're B1Bs.
Says that on the end there.
Okay, so they're B1Bs, I can't see that. So we're thinking that or ODI with no little donut things, just straight. You guys might want to kick us an opinion on that. And that's going to be it for today.
Let's show them. So it's the next day since the last clip. RL's added some things like the rotor. He's starting the rear brakes. So we're just going to walk you guys through that and show you the update.
We got a bare bolt sticking out here. There.
And then, so you've also changed the sprocket, but it sounds like it's going to be changed again.
Yeah.
The ever-changing. We're going to have a nice collection of miscellaneous parts around here.
We're gonna have to move. We have that many. Yeah, Shea gave me so many different combinations and they all look good. So I'm kind of going through them. But I had a 24 profile on here, polished. It's a little small. It's just a little small. Most guys that are, if you're riding a 20-inch and you got a 9-tooth rear end, you're probably running a 25 in the front. So I just ordered a polished 25 profile sprocket. It'll go on here. It just looked better.
Is the black 25?
This is 28.
Okay, right. So
Yeah.
Too big.
Yeah,
Well-
28s are good. They seem to work good on the SEs, on the big fat bikes.
Oh, okay.
You know, but on like my bike, I'm running a 25-12. But that's a 26-inch bike. Anyways.
So then you said you had something cool you did with the brake, the way you mounted it.
Yeah, so, you know, right here, you can see right here, the cable guide and the cable dumps into the frame, and then it comes out right here. Well, once you get the cable, you're gonna start with your cable, right, to go through here, and it's gonna pass that hole. You can bend the end of it, you can do whatever you want, but to try to get it to come out of that hole is a real bitch.
I see. Oh, right. Feeding it through.
Can you still see me?
Yes.
So, and I don't want to bore this hole out so it's big so you can find the cable. So what I did was I took a...
So this isn't the London mod or whatever, is it?
The one that Steve Blackie did?
Yeah.
No,
That's different.
that's different.
Oh, that's the one with the two cables coming out on the sides.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I took a cable. This is your regular front brake cable. You guys can see that.
Yeah.
And what I did was this loop right here, I wanted up here inside the frame, okay? And the idea was that I would push this, because the cable has to go through first. Push the cable all the way down until it hits the crank hanger, and then hopefully it's inside of here, and then you pull the cable, pulls it right through. Worked first try.
Oh, wow.
And then I screwed up, and I wasn't paying attention. I actually accidentally pulled the cable partway through and had to do it again. So I put it in there, got it up there again. It took about 5 tries. Worked great. Worked really good. I mean, you can't get pliers in there. You can't get, and it's got to be this kind of a cable, because this kind of a cable you can push, you can put one side in where it's going to have a bend because the hole is so small. Then you push this side in and it expands, turn it sideways, and you got like a little lasso there. And it worked. Pulled it right through it. And it seems like every time I got to pull a cable through a bike or a Harley or something like that, it's a different way. I don't know why. Sometimes it just is. But it worked. I got the everything. Here's the cable going through the housing. I got it's like a gyro bracket mount screwed into the frame. You got an adjuster right here. Once it's all hooked up, this cable should clear the frame. And that's where I'm at. The rotor is satin black with chrome stickers. And I think that looks good. But I'm just not real thrilled with the black sprocket. I think this one looked really good, the polished part. And then he's going to send me a polished nickel chain too. And we'll do some running around with that thing and see how it looked. Because Shea had a all black crank like this, but he had a polished nickel chain on there, you know. And this isn't polished nickel. It's kind of a, I don't know, champagne color. Back brake's not done. Cranks are tight. Bearings are in. Pedals are on. Rear end's tight. Chain's tight. Oh, and I got pegs coming. We're going to run.
Odyssey MPEG?
No, he didn't have any. They were sold out. So Flip is sending me, I can't remember what kind of pegs, but they should have a satin finish.
Yeah, that's good.
They should be the right size, and the outer diameter should be good enough to clear the forks. And
those tires are 1.75s?
Yeah, 175s. So anyways, when we were on the ride out in Ohio, which reminds me, we got some other custom parts coming in here. God, there's...
Ow!
What'd you do?
The fuck... Oh my God.
What?
The tab pulled out one of my whiskers. Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah, all the time.
What the fuck?
Well, it's springy.
Dude, it just ripped out one of my whiskers. That hurt.
Well, don't push the whole can in your mouth. Just keep it back a little.
Ow, dude. Jesus.
Anyways, we got some custom parts coming. I might as well just tell them, right? Because we spill the beans on everything. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell them all your secrets.
So I was talking to Flip on the phone, and he goes, yeah. He goes, I got a really good GT 22-inch. I don't know what it's called. And I go, does it come with front brakes? He's like, no. There's no hole. There's no post. There's nothing. And I'm like, well, that ain't going to work. He goes, hold on.
Well, for the park, you're not going to be doing front wheel tricks in the park.
I like, when I roll out of a ramp or a bowl, I like to kind of glide on my front brakes a little bit, just so the back end sits down a little easier, just to have it. But for that reason, I want front brakes. I want front brakes on everything I ride. So, what was I talking about before I said the park? Why? So anyways, I'm like, you can never just order a bike and go, it's perfect. No, it's always like, nope, doesn't come with handlebars. Nope, forks don't work. The frame's made out of toothpicks. Nope, sorry. But he's like, wait a minute, hold on. He goes, yep, I got a pair of 22-inch chromoly forks with U-brake mounts on them.
Pitchfork.
Huh?
Pitchfork.
Did he say that?
I saw the receipt.
Oh, so they're S&M.
Yeah.
Well, that's even better. I just heard a fork with mounts. I said, I'll take it. I don't care what it's made out of.
Yeah, it's a pitchfork.
Yeah, so that was Flip at Albie's. Just, I mean, that's service, right? Come on. And the other one was because I'm running a 14 millimeter axle on my 26 Haro, my 26 McCoy Haro. And so my dropouts are super thin. So I don't really want to be dirt jumping on that thing. And we've been talking about going to ride parks. So now I will have a bike to ride parks until I get my prototypes in for the bike that's laying on the table right there. Which I had a nice conversation with Isaac Irvine from Big Bike BMX. And we were talking about titanium, aluminum, chromoly, and all these other stuff. He's a sharp guy. He's got really good insight. He's not from a manufacturer's point of view, but he's from a rider's point of view, and it's a very clear vision that he has. And that's why I talk to him, because it comes across very clear. I understand it, and he's accurate. So Isaac Irvine has really been helpful.
And Isaac, we were going to have a chance to meet him for the first time coming up here in like a month and a half.
At the SE ride.
Yeah, so in August, I think it's August 21st, SE's having their big annual ride out in Santa Cruz. I don't know if it's called the Hoedown or something like that. But I think Todd Lyons is going to be there, D-Blocks, and then Craig and Isaac from Big Bike BMX will be there. So that'll be our first time meeting them.
Cool.
Which will be very cool.
Very cool. Dylan and I have been talking about this. If you try peg wheelies, which way does the bike want to go? Does it want to fall to the right?
I think it wants to kind of fall away from your foot that's on the peg. So
yeah,
like for me, it's to the left.
You're like wrestling with your handlebars to keep it straight, and it wants to fall. Well, to me, it wants to fall to the right. My right foot's on the peg. And of course, because, here's the bike centered, you're standing outside peg, the bike wants to fall over. It makes sense. And Joe Sisman and...
Sickman.
If I say Sickman, he says Sisman.
No.
Joe Sickman. I've heard it a million different ways. Joe, you know what I'm talking about. Dave Norrie and I were talking about these guys that are making balls they put a ball on the end of their peg so that when your foot is leaning in, it centers the bike when you're doing peg wheelies or peg tricks, right? Rolling tricks, whatnot. So
sounds like that'd make it easier for maneuvering the bike too, while you're on the peg.
Yeah, because you really got to force the bike over to get your peg foot to adjust on the peg. But anyways, so I had the idea of running a tapered peg, just a 1/4 inch taper. So, if this is the peg here and this is the peg here, the difference is a 1/4 inch. So it would taper, okay, to give you that little in kick. And I've been kind of wanting one for nose wheelies. I mean, hang fives or cyborgs or any of that stuff. And so we're getting some made, and it's going to be Alan, from the guy that put on the bike show in Ohio, Buckeye Bike Show. He is also a very good machinist. So he's making me chromoly tapered pegs, 4.5 inches wide. And the other thing I was thinking, the bonus to this whole thing, because I really don't even grind, but if you have a tapered peg, right? You come up on a pipe and you're level, if it's tapered, that should keep you on the rail a little bit more, right?
Seems like it, yeah.
It's like a little insurance policy, is the way I'm looking at it. I don't know. These are all the great things that I hope will happen. What will happen is it won't work, taper's not enough, taper's too much, all these other things. But the dream is still there, and those should be here a week or so.
Oh, cool. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Gee.
So that's it, 22-inch bike, tapered pegs. You guys are going to think this is weird, but that's all right. Something I totally love on this bike is these hollow 14 millimeter axles with these flat black nuts. Man, I know these are extremely hard nuts. Did I just say that? Hardened nuts. And the axles, you just don't have any problems with them. Nothing, ever. But when I look back there, it just gives me a little sense of security. That's why I wanted to put them on the front. But I love that. And same with BSD cranks. It's like, I know nothing's going to happen,
Yeah.
When the lever's on here, you're just going to have one cable going to here. And that's all you'll see to the rear end. That's all the cables right there. Instead of having 2 and 2. Now, I mean, the gyro works better. It's a better thing, but there's so many freaking cables, man. And it just looks like a rat's nest every time you put a bike together. But so that looks, I'm pretty stoked on that. It looks clean. You don't see a whole bunch of cables everywhere. So we had a lot of help on this thing. I mean, a lot of help. JD Cycle Supply gave us the seat post clamp. This came from Jeremy and Megan. Is it Cougar?
I forget, but you're talking about the seat post, right?
Yeah, the seat post. The seat post has been nickel plated, and it's got a piece of flat stock metal, you know, going right up here to keep it strong so it does. Because I already bent one. It took me about 5 minutes. That one won't bend. So that's JD Cycle Supply. BSD gave us the cranks and the rims. These are BSD wheels, so he's got really nice wheels. BSD hubs, BSD free coaster, 14 millimeter axle in the back, female threaded, female axle with bolts that come from the outside. A heavy duty, man. I just love that BSD stuff. Diacomp front brakes.
With the cool stop pads.
With the cool stop pads and the POTS mod. I can't see under there, Dylan.
Oh, you're talking about the rear brake?
Yeah.
Odyssey.
Okay. So we have an Odyssey U-brake on the back. And then
With cool stop pads as well.
we put the rotor cup here, drilled a hole here, ran the cable through here, and then it comes out at the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yep.
And then you should show them this bot underneath here. Can you see how
Yes.
you can see all this?
Oh yeah.
This is very smooth and it doesn't hit the frame. We shortened these studs. What do you call these again? The things that come out of the frame?
The poles or?
Poles, studs, whatever. We had to shorten those. I don't remember how much, but it was expensive to get that shortened. So we had clearance to run a small sprocket because I wanted to run a small sprocket. and it clears.
Too, right?
Huh?
The chain clears it, right?
Oh yeah. You know, even with the stock on it, the chain, I mean, it barely touches it, but when we still had it lowered. Cut off the platforms on the back.
That gave some heart attacks.
Yeah.
The standers or rear standers or whatever.
Yeah, the platforms. And then, let's see, we got...
The handlebars are standard, right?
No, yeah, standard handlebars. So those are Rick Molinterno's bars. It's got Oakley B1Bs. These should be Diacomp or Tech 77 Diacomp levers. And I even took out the lock. I hated that thing. I took the lock out.
Went over the rotor.
So what, is this an 87 Osborn Pro?
Believe so, yeah.
And the forks came off a Hustler Pro because I broke the other forks because I modified them so much.
Well, and weren't they rusted on the inside too?
And that was the handlebars.
Oh.
I don't know. But these worked out good.
So those Hustler Pro parts came from Jody Clodfelter.
That was the guy I wanted to thank last time. How do you say it? Jody
Clodfelter?
he gave Dylan a
He gave me a bunch of
a Hustler Osborn bike, whatever.
We had the frame and he sent us parts to help build it. So he sent me like handlebars, forks, some pegs, and then a few other things.
The frame,
too.
Right?
Or the frame we had already.
Where'd we get that?
It was one of the ones that Large Ray had given you from way back when.
Oh, he gave me 2 frames.
Yeah.
I forgot that. Okay. I thought Jody gave us the frame. Ray, thank you for the frame. And the bully frame too. That was cool. That's Large Ray in Pennsylvania.
And Jody then hooked us up with the forks that ended up making it to this bike.
Yeah. And they worked out really good because I can put a full-size peg on here and it'll clear the fork, or close to a full-size peg. But then I talked to Eric Wolfe and he's like, no pegs. So I'm like, thank you. That's fine. But this is nickel plated here, 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 here. So all nickel plated under here, and then Brian Bennett painted a candy apple. It's like a candy apple red with a gold metallic put in there. And man, it looks really good.
And then the stickers, Shea had a lot of work in on those, right?
Oh my God. Shea Snow and I, man, we've gone through so much crap on this bike.
You guys are aging each other, huh?
Yes, yes. Because he's a perfectionist, I'm a perfectionist, which was really nice because I know if Shea's handling it, it's going to be right. So,
a couple of OCD fiends.
yeah. These are Odyssey high frequency tires. I mean, I must have had 10 different handlebars, you know, and this is how I build, is I try all these different bars and I stand back and there's a look that I'm going for. And, you know, we put the standard on there and we're like, man, that's it, you know. Same thing with everything else, just put different things on there until it looks like how you want it to look. I was just thinking about, oh, and Eric Wolfe. This started out because Eric contacted me when I first went on Facebook. He's like, hey man, I want to give you a General frame and fork and you could ride it, you know? And I'm like, no, I didn't want, that was too big of a gift. And I was like, well, send it to me and I'll put it together. And he's like, you sure? So it started off with him offering me a free frame and fork, which was very cool. Thank you, Eric. Yeah. And then I thought, no, I mean, Jesus, we got, I don't know how many bikes we got in this house now. And that's what happened. And we ended up doing this thing. And then once Shea got in, then it was like, man, the quality just went through the roof. Then I went to Ohio, the Buckeye Bike Show in Ohio, and saw what custom builders are doing, you know, like Mark Riley and Mike Carmody. And oh my God, the attention to detail was insane. Yeah. So I carried that back with me and just went through everything and made it better. But this is done. And I'm looking forward. We're going to send it to Eric and get a video of him opening the box.
You said you were gonna reenact your part from Rad on this bike.
I did.
Yeah, I remember. Isn't that why we got that big quarter pipe out front?
Oh right. Well, yeah, I'm not going over 10 feet though. No way. No. Yeah, I know you guys are like, hey, ride that thing. No freaking way am I going to ride this thing, man. I mean, it's rideable, but I'm not going to, when I started riding it before, the seat post bent, the brakes didn't work. The brakes work now, and I am not going to risk chipping this frame. So, but it's very rideable, very sturdy. But no, I'm not going to take that chance. There's just too many people that have too much time in this thing. Another guy, David Clark.
Oh, right.
Hopefully I said that right. David Clark, who I guess he started building one about around the same time I did. And so we were talking on the phone and trading ideas back and forth. And I didn't think he was serious, but he was. And he built it, and we got that bike in the living room finished now. And man, that thing is really nice. It's built a little different than this, but we're going to show you that bike too. I wanted to thank you guys too, the community out there.
Yeah.
Man, I was going, as you know, I went through some pretty deep rabbit holes, and we would talk about it online, or talk about colors, or talk about this, and that was very helpful. I heard all your stories about, you know, different OCD things you guys were doing or whatever, and so I thank you guys for your input as well.
And like you were saying, the actual original Hazard Yellow RL22 from the movie Rad, the one you rode, that was here the other day. So we got video of that. Well, I was still in Mexico, but Patrick and RL, my dad, got video of that. That was with Dustin Howell and his son Drake.
Yep.
So I'm going to be putting a video together of the footage they got, and we'll post that as well soon. All right, well, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys soon.
Yeah, you guys take it easy, and thanks again.